Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper bringing you guys another session of the Boar's Hat podcast. Today we're covering chapter 282. What's the dealio?
You ain't roasting us.
Yeah, like that. That's it. That's really it.
I'm ready
Also,
to move on.
All right.
So
I'm calling Strickland today, and they're cutting off the gas, so you ain't getting no more propane to try and roast this crap.
All right, I'm gonna tell you guys straight up how it is. Look, so before we started the podcast, me and the guys, Naya, Kishin, Zarsa, we were discussing, arguing, contemplating who said who, what was predicted or not predicted, and who's gonna roast who on this stream. There's a lot of things revealed this chapter. I personally feel we got the conclusion of the story of Gauth and the story of Maya. Now, later on in the narrative, we'll have more details and a little bit more finer developments to their little details in their storyline. But pretty much, it seems like a closure to both of their storylines. Gauth has been able to fulfill his actions of repentance, and Maya is beginning his repentance by actually confronting his sins. So, with that being said, in the entire chapter in context, what did you guys think about the chapter?
First, I guess. I liked it. It was. I want him to. I think he's gonna die anyways. Like in the grand scheme of things. So I'm not too mad that he survived this ordeal. But I figured they would try to save him before they tried to just get rid of him completely. And we kind of got that inkling in the last chapter because even King was like, nah, if you want to smoke, come back anytime and I'll beat your ass. I'm not gonna kill you. I like that we got the real reason why Gowther specifically chose him. That was cool. I feel like a lot of us just assume because of Sunshine and whatnot, that was probably why he was the best choice. But we know why now, and then we know what Gowther's based off. I don't know if we knew that before, but
I feel like we did.
we did.
No, we didn't.
I didn't know that.
Yes, we did.
I didn't remember at least.
And I'm looking
elaborate?
it up on the wiki, and I can't find any reference to it. There is no page for her. And I'm like, when was this?
Are we referring to her image or why Gowther chose him?
No, her image. The reason why she looks. The reason why whatever her name was, I can't remember the name right now.
Gloritza? Gloritza.
Yeah.
Or Gloriza, excuse me.
Gloriza. All right, we'll call it Gloriza for now. Then we can figure out her name later. But I remember someone saying that that he was based off of her, but because he didn't want to have any impure thoughts or do anything weird, he was fashioned as a boy. Even though he was made as a doll, he was fit to be more of a boy than he was a girl. Probably
Really?
due to the fact. Yeah.
Where was this?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I don't believe it was anything with Merlin. I think it might have to do with Gowther and maybe. Fuck, where was this?
Yeah, who else has talked about Gowther? I don't think anybody else has mentioned Gowther's past like that. Is this a side story or something, maybe?
This was no. This was Gowther. This was Gowther speaking on behalf of himself. I think it was around the time when they were having their little resolution with his whole fucking up with people's memories and stuff. I think it was around that time.
What do you mean, the real-time confrontation of what Gowther did, or back 3,000 years ago?
The real-time confrontation with Diane and everything when he was trying to erase his own memory and everything. I think it was around that time.
What? That's recent as hell. That we got hints about Gloritza?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta find that, bro. Because I have no context.
I will do my best to find that out.
Did you find anything yet, Kishin?
Like I said, I felt like we had seen her before, and I was like, this is familiar, but I'm always so forgetful. So I was like, am I just thinking I remember something?
I don't remember her at all personally, so.
You don't get a name and you don't get a face, but Gowther does kind of dabble on it a little bit, just a little bit. I'm trying to think who might have said it. It might have been it might have been Merlin because Merlin might have been talking about it, but I think it was either him or maybe Merlin.
All right. Before we elaborate because we're gonna get back to that. It's probably one of the last parts of the chapter. Let's go through it. Did you guys already give your thoughts on it, Kishin? Did you give your thoughts?
It kind of left me a little bit confused at times, but I kind of straightened out most of it. So, but I was kind of right about how Mal would release the commandments. So I'm happy about that.
This nigga. All right, since we talking about who was right about what, I was right that Rudisill was the strongest archangel.
What about me?
I was right that Rudisill was the strongest archangel. There we go.
Yo, Grimm,
Let's put it out there. Go ahead.
Grimm,
Go ahead.
you're just gonna forget about me.
Go ahead.
You're gonna forget about me.
Right,
What kind of trash is this? What kind of trash? I've been on this. What?
Get your ass up there. All right, look, Zarso, what did you think about the chapter?
Oh, thanks.
Okay,
Grimm.
so
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought that it had a bit more weight to it. Probably due to the fact that the last couple of chapters themselves kind of built up to this to this point right now. But I think that if anything, I like this chapter a bit more than I did the last 2 chapters. Even like with the power ups, because I do like how it adds depth to the story, adds a lot of weight. It shows that I think it also kind of makes me think. Well, not really makes me think, but rather it also kind of interests me that obviously he was chosen simply due to the fact that Male's chosen to be I guess the scapegoat to end the war simply due to the fact that he killed the original Gother's lover way back in the day. Even though this man at some point, I'm assuming, was inflicted with his commandment, and he wouldn't really be able to do anything out of his own I guess.
Hold on, because that still doesn't make sense unless I missed the page or something like that. Didn't she just say, "I want to see you again," and then he killed her, and then Mael started screaming "Who was that? What is going on?" Don't we still not know what that connection is? Because as far as I understood, that Glariza is a doll or a prototype of a doll that Gauther, the original, fell in love with. So he fell in love with his own creation, and then we see that his creation became a member of the demon clan. And now in this instance, whether it's the demons fighting or whether it's she was captured as a prisoner because she didn't have any armor on or any weapons on, so didn't know what was going on with her. Mael killed her, and then he knew her name. So I'm still wondering what is the connection between them and why? Because I can't point out or I can't say definitively why Mael was picked still. He literally said it. There are other niggas as strong as me, so the power thing's out the window. Is it because I knew this woman or I knew your old lover? So now you're punishing me because I killed a woman that you loved? Is that what you're doing? Is technically?
I think that's how it's supposed to be taken.
Yeah.
Is that this has just been one giant other plot twist for the whole Mal Esterosa debacle.
Do you
it
know?
Also has to do, it also has to do with the fact that remember Gother was inflicted with the commandment of I can't remember
selflessness.
Right? Yes, selflessness, right? So in reality, he wouldn't have been able to go after Male himself if he was unless he concocted this plan. This plan itself had various options, like Male said.
So
Okay,
you
Male's like,
damn, bro, time out, my nigga. These niggas put some strings together, dog. Are we saying that this nigga Gauther got afflicted by selflessness? So in order to get revenge on the motherfucker who killed his beloved, he made a better creation and stopped an entire holy war to punish him?
yeah.
What the fuck?
Kind of what it seems like.
Knock him up, motherfucking sensei, bro. I'm sorry. That's what the fuck. The reason why this is so
it's badass as fuck.
From going to afflicting the supreme deity and even the demon king with this fake illusion to now manipulating the entire war just to get revenge, my nigga. This is on some fucking what's that nigga? Fuck, I forgot that nigga, the assassin nigga in the movies now. John Wick. Some John Wick shit.
Yeah, he killed a lot of people over just a dog. Imagine what it's like.
Oh my. Now, please, viewers, we're not saying that that's the exact definition or the exact scenario that occurred. Zarsu did an amazing job of articulating all the ideas that we have so far. It's definitely a good thing to see, and it's probably the most likely storyline, but we're all going to do rereads, try to make sure and confirm what this is. We also have to check out the official translation, or better translations, as Naya was pointing out, that he didn't necessarily like Manga Deep, So there'll be other translations that come out during the week, so we can confirm or deny these allegations as Arso has yielded. What an amazing storyline that would be. Or it is. I don't think there's any other way to take it, is there? Even from what we got, there's no other way to take it.
There really isn't. Again, at the end of the day, it seems weird because he's been inflicted with selflessness, so he can't. So on the outside, it doesn't seem as though he would do that for revenge. But there's no other way to take it other than this is the best way I can get my revenge without taking my revenge. I have to do this in order to stop the Holy War. I want to stop the Holy War, and just a couple of options, and male is the one. I get to choose. It's not because I'm doing it for revenge. I'm just doing it for the Holy War. So of course, there'll be a reason why.
What bugs me is that when we got the actual moment when the Gauther the doll committed the spell to affect everybody, the original Gauther explained that this was for righteous reasons, that he wanted to stop the war. It wasn't right and stuff like that. And those reasons at the time period, whenever they were displayed to us, it didn't seem like it was a farce or like some type of like part of a scheme or anything like that. It seemed as if like it was a genuine, resolution to this evil. And several times in the series, we've had reaffirmations like that, where like characters make the right decision, and we get the whole like, oh, he's better for it and shit like that. That whole presentation, like a guy learned from it, made a better decision, a good decision, overcame a bad choice, something like that. It kind of seemed that way, that like Gauther as a demon, as a person being in prison, was going to overcome the betrayal of his own clan, the imprisonment of his own clan, maybe even possible hatred for angels by saving all races by ending the war. I thought that was gonna be. I thought that was a righteous action when it was presented that way. So that would be like the only part that I'm skeptical about. Why Gauther would go to such an extent and even have like false, like I don't know, man. It's hard to articulate that idea.
I can't tell if I'm cutting out. Am I cutting out?
No, I don't think so. You sound alright.
Okay.
Was I cutting out?
No, you were good too.
Alright, I'm just tripping.
Alright. So what's up with this place that Miles in? Oh yeah, that shit about Elizabeth. Oh yeah, did y'all notice that shit too, bro? So there's this place that Miles used to come up to, and Elizabeth would come up here and comfort him and shit when he was on the dialogue. So it's not like we were saying before, where I think somebody said, I don't know where I read it or I saw it, but somebody was speaking that the relationship or the lust that Mayo has for Elizabeth, the love, it's they were trying to say it's unfounded, or we don't have as much support for it because we've never seen them like interact. We've never seen him try to go after her. We've only seen him like, look at her from afar or like be upset that she's not with him. So like, where does this love and affection come from? And now we get some more information of their connection, that she was always there for him. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that like Mayo may have like even told her that he loves her at a point, and that makes it even so much worse that like she probably turned him down and then went to Meliodas?
No, he did not.
She would have mentioned something by this point.
She probably just wanted to comfort him, like, "Oh, don't worry, man."
Exactly. I said it so many times. All right, I said it. How many times? How do I have to say it? Right? This guy is a cuck. Hey, bro. Do you think you can tell Elizabeth how I feel about her? I don't know. Why don't you?
Grown ass man, angel.
That's what I'm saying. He's beefy as hell, right? Beefy as hell. Go after this petite little girl, and then he's all like, "Hey, man, hey, y'all already know I'm out here, angel of death, hella sunshine and everything. Trying to go on this, trying to take a flight to one of our sky palaces. Gonna smoosh her up. No, none of that. Don't get me started. Come on.
That is really cool though. We've seen how tyrannical Meliodas could be back in his assault mode, whether in current day or whether it was back then. He didn't really regard his subordinates with the most respect. But to see the strongest of the archangels, the opposite of Meliodas, be like that, be like kind of like timid and shit or like shy, is kind of a contrast. If you get what I'm saying. Like Meliodas doesn't have those same tendencies that you just mentioned. He wasn't like scared or anything or like fucking shy and shit. That nigga's about that nigga out there sucking on them titties in the middle of the forest and shit, bro. In the middle of the fucking bar playing with Elizabeth's pussy and shit. Like, that nigga ain't scared of shit. That's why she wanted that shit. She wanted a nigga that gonna grab her ass. She wanted a nigga to stick a finger in the pussy in the middle of the bar and shit. That's what she wants. Elizabeth, the fucking, she a freak, right? She a freak.
I think she just, went on the other tracks, to sample the goods. I don't think it was that deep. I don't think she wants to get, play with like that all the time. I mean, it's kind of something. It's a little something. It's a bit risque to go ahead and just be all like, hey, yeah, just go ahead and do some of this. But I get it. Some girls are.
She gets touched every other chapter, bro. Every other chapter that Meliodas is about, she's out there getting grabbed, groped, sucked, licked, pumped, all kinds of shit, bro. Humped. and you're telling me she doesn't like that shit, bro? Her cheeks turn red as fuck. She doesn't stop him. She blushes. Like, come on, bro.
Stockholm syndrome.
Confining her and holding her prisoner for the last 3,000 years, technically.
That's what I'm saying.
I hold her attention until she remembers me, and then we play. Then we do this little dance again and again and again and again. Okay, Meliodas is starting to turn even more eviler in my mind than he should be.
But yeah, I do agree with you. It does seem somewhat interesting when these tough ass characters do like give off like their vulnerable side and everything, especially for like, people that they really care about. Because I mean, when we first see Male at his youngest, most vulnerable state, he's like very 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 timid, and then we see him as an adult, and he still kind of has somewhat of these tendencies, but then we kind of see him as very much the asshole, very much like the douchebag goes like, oh, you guys are helping out the demons, but you're not gonna help out me. These demons are just out here doing whatever they want. Y'all haven't executed them yet. And then now we see him as a grown man, kind of sulking in his own mind and everything. It does paint a very good picture of how he sees himself. It really does.
Well, it's important to point out his self-image, because if we really look at it, his self-image or his self-perception is the entire reason any of this happened. Besides him actually killing Gloriza, it's his shyness that has made him it's his weak soul. Well, I can't even say that.
He seems to me to be pretty emotionally fragile.
That's what I would say. But then there's so many other factors that we've been told as to why things occurred. I want to attribute most of it to his emotional fragility, like you just pointed out. He can't deal with certain things. Because look at it. He got fucking... I'm not saying that anybody would be able to choose to make a different decision, but he got imprisoned in his own body and then had to watch atrocity amongst atrocity that he committed. And then once that being that was taking control of him was gone, he was there left in the vessel, back in his own body. To atone and to fucking take responsibility for all the things that he's done. And instead of attempting to atone for them or attempting to do something about them, he decided to run and hide. Even worse, he took the side of what he chose, what he's known for so long, and could done even more. So, I think the fact that he chose to stay with the commandments and to choose darkness is where we see the shyness and the pussy that we know as Maya. When Maya transformed and got and actually got his memories back, that's when that's when Pussy Maya came out. That's what that was, a pussy-ass decision. To use darkness to your advantage instead of facing your sins was a pussy move, and you already know. But what a story, man.
What a story, what an arc. What a twist. No, it was good. I did think the Elizabeth scene did add a little bit of extra stuff. Okay, so they did talk at least one-on-one here and there once in a while or something like that. So that was helpful to know. I don't think that it changed anything. I don't think he said anything. I feel like he was just there sad, oh, my brother or some shit. I don't know.
Bitch shit, man.
Do I have to keep killing demons? I don't know. I mean, I could just see him some sip shit. Don't worry about it. My friend, and pat him on the shoulder, and that makes him hurt even more because you don't like him. And then just go see Meliodas after and get her cheek clapped. So, yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I think he's gonna have his redeeming moment and save them and die or somewhere, somehow, whatever, and then we'll move on.
I'm interested to see what happens. He's probably gonna join Stigma. Once again, another thing that I'm right about: the union of stigma back to full strength. You fucking fuckers are so. But besides that one point,
Okay, a little context, viewers. Grimm was trying to roast us, saying he's going to expose us because we think stigma wasn't all anything. Well, guess what?
And it's
and
true.
said
That
that
is true.
and said that he knew it from day one before we knew what the fuck Sigma was, who Esterosa was, who Mal was. He knew through the cosmic forces everything that we couldn't possibly know.
Look, day 71, I knew, alright? I knew on day 71, bro. Well, y'all niggas is denying on day 120, dog. I knew, bro. I knew. Look.
You're trash.
Look, let's move on from that point. Once again, niggas are... But let's move on.
Stigma got beaten by a gang of humans.
Stigma's back. Stigma
Don't
never
talk
fell.
to me.
Stigma never fell.
Don't talk to me.
Stigma never fell.
Stigma
never fell.
He's chanting in the corners.
Alright.
Everyone's over there coughing. Stigma never fell.
Stigma never fell, right? But what happened to all the gods?
Alright, no, we'll get on that in a second, but let's...
What happened to Bear King and the Giant King? What happened to Meliodas and Elizabeth?
Why did it have to reform 3,000 years later?
Bro, all the demons got sealed away, bro. So did all the vampires. If anything, the bad guys lost more.
Everybody lost.
Alright, but let's move on from that. There's a different point I want to address, and this is a big one. The 4 commandments. Now, we've now seen a physical manifestation of them. This is the second time, I believe, we're seeing a physical manifestation of a concept that we didn't necessarily know had that perception. The first being the feelings that we encountered in Purgatory. We found the feelings in the heart of Meliodas in Purgatory in physical form, and he's now returning to us in the real world. So it's not absurd to have or to see the commandments in an actual physical form. But
it threw me off, though.
It threw me way off. They have personalities, they have voices, and they have intent. We have to discuss all these things. What do you guys think?
I think so. Part of me is wondering if that's like an abnormality because A, his body can't handle it, I guess, and 2, he's not actually a demon, or that if you get one, you have to suppress this, control it, or fight against it, or else it could consume you. So part of me is thinking that it goes back to when your body wouldn't be able to handle more than one. It's like you need to have the power to be able to subjugate and suppress these various commandments into your body and then it doesn't bother you anymore. So it depends on how you look at it. Was Mael a different case because he's not a demon, or was it because he was too weak mentally to handle all of that?
Well, if you guys would go to the actual page, I don't know where you guys read it from, but if you go there, could you tell me which commandment is holding Mael? Because I feel like that has context.
That's purity.
That's purity? Okay. No.
And silence was holding Gauther.
Gauther, exactly.
Or retentance, or however it's pronounced. But silence.
And it's funny
Which I thought was a nice point because it's trying to quiet Gauther to take Mal back. Mm-hmm. So, and then Truth is just sneaking in the back. It's like, I know all the secrets, but I'm not telling shit.
Oh, Lord.
It's the fact that because it's they have their own intentions, and they grant power. We learned a while back now that when you attain a commandment, you don't only attain its particular effect, but you also attain a mass of darkness. So, is it one commandment that's giving him power, or is it all of them? Is it
all, obviously, when
one works? But do you see what I'm saying? When you're using one, are you just using the power from one of them? Are you using all of them? Whenever and now it's weird too, because for example, can reticence affect truth? Can reticence make truth not say anything or something like that?
I don't know about that.
Because
we haven't really seen many cases of multiple commandments being wielded by a single being. So it's very possible it's just one at a time, or otherwise they do conflict.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, it's the Demon King's powers. Do you think that's like, oh, this guy? At least when the curse was broken, like this guy's an angel. Fuck this guy. Like take him over. Like would that happen in the demon's body? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot to consider here. Where it's like, as demonic power, isn't it just naturally against like its will to like take out like the goddess clan in a sense?
That's very interesting you say that because towards the end of their presentation, they did say that they were going to be with Mayo until he dies. And then Mayo responds that I'm not that stupid. So in that context, to me, it seemed like their relationship, that even they acknowledged their relationship. Even they acknowledged like what's going on. So I could definitely agree with that. I feel that the commandments are aware that this is an angel and not a demon. I could definitely see that. But then what consequence would that have for everything else?
Then I'm not entirely sure, but then it begs the question, like, what happens when you die with the commandment in you or grace in you? Like, where did it go? What happens? So I think that was the next question. Would they have to control his life, his body? Like, what would happen? I don't know. It's interesting though. I think it was a good idea to have them like kind of be alive like that. I think it added another layer to the power.
Huh.
But I think it's one of those things where it just kind of depends on your perspective, because then your mind will trail off in different directions depending on how you're looking at it.
It's weird that these were all part of the Demon King at one point, and now they're separate entities. You think that this was the part of the spell, or like this is the institution of the spell, or the properties of the spell that made his power into this?
I would say it's not. No, go ahead.
Given their grotesque appearance, it wouldn't surprise me if originally, like, the Demon King ripped off a piece of himself while focusing like an ideal, which became the commandment. And then this is what you see, because that was what they originally looked like. And then just the energy form, I don't really know how to explain that, but that's just a random thought I just had.
I was going to say that, if anything, because Gother is now within like Male's mind, and I'm assuming soul in a sense, like he uses magic to kind of go inside of like his headspace for the most part. The commandments themselves are taking up that form, and the reason speaking everything is probably because of how much power and how much power, or rather who they came from. These are commandments that came from the Demon King. So I'm assuming that his power has several different properties that can affect someone. Not only that, they're supposed to corrupt. So obviously, if they took up any form themselves, they would take up a corrupt form, seeing as how darkness is supposed to corrupt anyone that it, I guess, comes into contact with. But that's just like a fleeting thought. I'm still looking for the source, so it's probably the reason why I'm quiet.
This is now a third or fourth person that we've seen go inside of people's minds. Gauther, Zeldris, Meliodas, King. Now, they all have the ability to manipulate and I guess speak to the psyche or the soul of an individual. I guess we can look at this as the soul because
it almost looked like he just gave up. Like he's just sitting there like whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, devour me, get it over with.
Gauther's like, nah, bro. He's like, nah.
That's literally what it is. Yeah.
Well, at one point he did say like that he was ready to die or something, right?
No, he could declare. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. He wants to die. He said that. He's ready to just disappear. That was the first thing he said. But we know that's obviously not true because he was still fighting.
Well, he still wants to know that answer. So, why was I chosen? So, funny that he would mention that after admitting he wants to die. I find that a little odd.
I want to die. It's not a joke. Everybody hate me, but I hate myself the most. That's what listening to what he's up there.
Legit. No, on some real shit. Simping. Like, the reason why I think I sympathize with him a lot is because of that. Because we are seeing all his struggles. Like, and he keeps saying, the thing that makes it worse is he keeps saying it, why does it have to be me? Why do I have to be the one that has to do all that shit like that? And like I know we've all felt like shit before.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a good point because now we really know why. Because of who he killed.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, it's kind of like we could assume we had a good reasoning to think why it could have been him, but it's like no, he's picked you specifically because you killed someone that he cared about, and that's why he punished you. Where it's and then now he's like, oh, I've taken too many lives. Obviously, I've killed my own brethren now. So like there's so much sins in his mind that are piled up on top of the Elizabeth stuff. That was just like, yo, I'm out, ready to die. That is a little sad.
Yeah.
The chapter gave me some feels.
Do you think it would have been more impactful if Maya was the recipient of all these atrocities for no reason, instead of for being a murderer? Or not a murderer, for killing in the name of God, quote unquote.
No, I think it's better this way.
I think it's better this way?
Because now it's personal. It's like a personal thing now. I think it's better that way. Where it's like, oh no, it was just him because it was him, and it was like it could have been anybody. We're like, that's not as interesting.
That's true.
And plus with her appearance tying into what Gotha looks like, now there's more to his appearance, especially the fact that he's so androgynous as a doll and stuff. So like, oh, that stuff starts to connect now. So I appreciated it.
Explain.
Could you guys trying to look for that goddamn source too?
Could you guys explain how that connects, like the whole like boy girl thing? Because yeah. What are your thoughts on that? I don't get what you guys are connecting with that.
On why he's so androgynous? I mean, he's a doll in the first place, and dolls don't have body parts. And
yeah, but I'll just say that like he does have a girl's face technically.
Yes, yeah. He has a very effeminate face, but the thing is, like, a boy can have an effeminate face. This series has shown, like, perfect example, Jericho. When we first meet Jericho, I mean, I thought Jericho was a girl.
No, but why is that significant though? Why is the appearance significant? Why does it matter?
I think okay, so I believe it matters.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I believe it matters because at the end of the day, this Nakaba's art style is very particular. You'll have characters that do that look like girls but they're actually boys, or they look like boys. Well, actually, no, I don't think I've ever had a. Actually, no. You do have some chicks that look like guys, but they're kind of like the more rough, heavy-set chicks.
I was gonna say it's to add on to the revenge, to have the person you killed come back and.
Yeah, that's true.
That too, but also it's a little just sad in the fact that it's like, okay, she's dead, and then you just made this doll in her image in a way. So it's like this sadness to it, where it's like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't fucking a doll, but this is like this constant reminder that she's not really there anymore. But you made this thing in her image, so
and then she set it up, and then he set it up too. That same embrace, that same sadness, he got his revenge with it. Yeah, straight bro. Yeah. This is what a fucking chapter, bro.
Who knew when Gowther was first introduced that he would play this kind of a role? I figured he was just going to be like your robotic kind of gaggish character in the background because of his personality.
And then you start cross-dressing.
I was skeptical of the character only because of like the mystery that they presented him with, and how like he didn't necessarily like show immediate loyalty, and then we saw his mental struggle. So whenever we see a character that's like mentally unstable, you always know that something like he's gonna have a resolution to him. Like we're gonna deal with that. So I always thought that like it was gonna turn out to be that with how dangerous his power is and how mysterious he is, and like he'll fucking hurt us or hurt the team somehow someday or something like that. But I always I was always cool with Gowther. There was nothing anything like weird about him. Like I didn't even mind the like the no political stuff here, guys. Straight up, I didn't even mind the whole like girl guys presentation thing. It's kind of weird. I usually like male characters to be like masculine, female characters to be feminine. No super in between shit. Even though some feminine male characters are badass, like Flashy Flash and a My Mask One Punch Man. But typically, I like the masculine type. No homo. So, not minding Gowther. I actually thought Gowther was cool for a few times. But Gowther has shown like some of the most abilities out of anybody else in the series.
That's true.
And then
a pretty good decent amount.
As much as like Naya like used to fucking harp about like how he doesn't really give a fuck about Gowther, like I did find interesting Gowther's story. It wasn't the most interesting, don't get me wrong, bro. Besides that one thing that happened that one time, bro, the rest of it's just been like crying bullshit. Like
I did like his backstory, like to where he got the sin. That was always interesting to me. But I just found that afterwards it wasn't it. But then again, now like my perspective of him has slightly different. Like, am I a Gowther fan? No, but we know that he had been carrying that with him the whole time. When in the last chapter we got that like I never forgot about you. Like I never did. Like I always think about you. So I'm like, okay, like you see him doing his antics on the outside, but on the inside he's still thinking about it. So I'm like, okay, I get that. That's fine.
He's the weirdo who really doesn't understand like what emotions are. But then again, he's like just like Kishin said, like he was very robotic, and that was kind of always his crux at the end of the day.
Wow. I hope we can do a lot more reflecting like this. I don't think we've gotten too many like pivotal conclusions to like storylines or seeming conclusions to storylines like this before. I wanted to like I just now thought about the whole Dreyfus thing, but that wasn't anywhere near as impactful. Anywhere near as impactful as this. Zadatas wasn't anywhere near as impactful as this. Daddy Eddie's was. It was good, but.
A thought occurs to me. Why did Demon Galther give our Galther a heart if he's supposed to ultimately do this at the end of the day for revenge? Wouldn't that make him less likely to be, afflicted?
Exactly.
So
Literally.
what was the point of all of that?
I don't know. The heart would only make him like choose to not make the decision. That's.
And then the revenge never goes through because he's like, no, this is wrong. I have a conscience. Wouldn't you just make a mindless doll that's going to fulfill your plan? It's an odd thing to include.
Well, one thing we haven't unraveled yet is the weirdness of what we were told. Like, there's no other way to put it. Gothar was fucking his creation.
Well, we don't really know that for... Oh, wait, you're talking about the other one. Okay.
Yeah, Larissa.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Doll Gelder for a second. I was like, when was that brought up?
And whether we want to take the translation or not, like, it said the prototype of him. So, like, it was either an original doll or a creation or a thing that Gothar made, and then he just happened to make a doll after that, and it just out of nowhere. Not related, but let's assume that like Glorita was an actual thing, like not a doll, like an actual like being somehow.
I think he went full Dr. Giro and took a demon girl and modified her.
I'm more on the like the thought process that when Gother said my prototype, he might have just referred to the person who he was based off of more than anything else.
Yeah, I don't think he meant like, G was like version 0.11 like 0.10 doll, and then I was the next one. Because then why didn't he just make you a female as well in that sense? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it said that she became a member of the demon clan.
Yeah.
So she was not part. That's why I'm thinking that maybe she wasn't something originally and then became a demon through his modifications. But I don't know. That's why I said went Dr. Giro with it. Kidnapping humans and making them something for my grand master.
Somehow making them stronger than aliens and Frieza and shit. Okay.
But how does that work? How do you become a member of the demon clan? What the fuck?
Well, we've already seen the demon clan has some weird
demon,
tech.
Right?
What was that?
He's a demon, right? So maybe he knows something we don't.
Well, we saw that one girl that always dealt with Esteraza's wounds, and that like depredation tank or whatever that he would go in his little comas in for healing.
What about her?
So, well, what if all that tech is from the original Galther?
Oh, okay, cool.
So, I mean, magic and tech combined can make just about anything possible. So that's why I think the modification and whatnot is highly likely.
So the running theory we're pushing is that this is a being that existed that got modified by Gothar somehow, and then
he made it more like himself so that he could actually be happy. It's like, I can't find anyone in the demon clan that I like, so I found this person that I kind of like, I turned them into a demon, and hey, welcome to my world, lover. I don't know. That's just how I think it might be.
Or this is an original creation of his.
It could be.
Then the doll is a variation of it somehow.
We've been given so little information. That's why I'm kind of going with the Giro aspect. But.
If this is the original creation of Gothar, though, then we still have the question: why is the doll Gothar such a variation of the original? If he could make Gloriza, why not make Gloriza 2.0?
I think that's because she's gone. Like whatever it is, she's still gone. Like you could remake it, but it will never be the same person. So you didn't even really bother. You just kind of used her as a base as a reminder that she would existed and whatever it may be, but never really went the whole way again. I kind of get that, just because it's like you ever heard like the thought experiment like the ship of Theseus,
Yeah.
right?
You replace the ship.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. Like you can never really fully recreate it again in that sense. So that's kind of that's how I look at it at least. But I get you though. Like it's almost like why didn't you just make another one?
No,
that's or Bustier or some shit. I don't know, but
that would be the exact thing. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it either. But I probably wouldn't even have made the new one in her image. I probably just try to forget about it personally.
Yeah, because that would remind you too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why he can modify his appearance. It's like, okay, Gelder, go into the other room. I'm getting too emotional right now.
Wow.
Go change into a boy. Get the fuck out.
Wow, bro, you're really gonna say that? Oh, Gelder, I'm horny. Make your butt fatter.
Ah!
No, I'm just saying it's like when all the twisted memories of the past start coming up, it's like, nope, change into something else. I don't want to look at you right now.
He made my titties bigger and he broke me. He forced me to. You're saying, like, you're right, he does have body modifications. Why not modify them titties, bro?
I don't think
it's for your beloved.
Listen. The most he can do is change his skin, change his skin tone and his hair. That's about it. That's as far as he can go.
Yeah,
and maybe eye color.
Yeah, eye color too. But other than that, like, this man Grimm, bro, like, really, dude.
Bro, he said it, not me. What you mean? I was just saying, like, oh, if Gotham can modify everything, and that's his lover, the nigga was made in his lover's image, bro, and he can modify his body parts, as Kishin said. What do you expect me to point out?
No, I meant just like, okay, it's like, I want to reminisce, but then the darker parts of that,
the dark
come up, and it's like, no, I don't want to see you anymore. Transform into something else.
Oh, the fact that he's a doll kind of is all like, hey, you should be able to, transform into whatever you want, kiddo.
Yes, let fate be our own destiny. Go find your own way in life.
Another thing I'd like to note that by the way that we know that you joined the Demon Clan is by attaining a commandment, as far as we know. That's how Gloxinia and Delore were able to conjure up darkness magic on certain occasions, because of the acquisition of a commandment. That's also how Maya was able to use darkness as well. But it seems I can't even say that we would have no indication of what race she was in like before, because we've seen beings who are not demons make demon wings once they attain darkness, and they look almost exactly the same. So I don't think we have any way to tell what race she was originally.
Real quick, this whole series normally goes about the oddities in races. Perfect example, Delore, like no other giant. Bon, a very rare human among most humans. Who's another good example? Escanor, a human who, like, the only human who's to date who's ever had a blessing and not exploded or died. So I would say, if anything, like, and of course, Male, like the only goddess who actually like has been able to contain commandments and everything. So yeah, I would say if anything, it's really hard. It's really hard to make good examples of some of these characters, only because like you really don't know exactly, like, you just. Some of these characters are a little too rare. It's all like, how do you get an archangel who has a commandment? They normally shouldn't have that, and that's what we got from Male. But we could never. But the thing is, right? It's like some of the things that come up because of it. We can't say that. Oh yeah, like Melios could do like light ball of love, or scythe of silence. Like there's like we say that he could or couldn't do it.
Okay.
So yeah, all I'm saying is because offshoots, like for example, Gulia, the only human left that has demon blood, and that's the reason why she's so powerful as a holy knight. Like it's kind of hard to always quantify some of these people's abilities and everything, just only because of that one aspect of the series.
Shit. Well, after addressing some points in the chapter, all the pivotal ones, got their story, story of Mayo, um, the characteristics, the commandments, and their possible influence, how they work and what they'll do later on. Um, is there anything else that we should like before we get to the predictive stage where we start to speculate on what's going to happen next? Is there anything else that we should look at? King, Diane, Elizabeth, anything like that? She was crying, by the way, too.
She's always crying.
If only she was like rose quartz and those tears actually did something for somebody.
Yes, exactly. But like,
no one would ever be hurt for more than 5 seconds with Elizabeth around.
And touching somebody out. Even out.
I still want to give her props, though. Stigma wouldn't have been at this point if it wasn't for her. The goddesses say led the way.
They did. I will not say they didn't. However, at the end of the day, I will ever give Stigma any credit. How do you lose to 4 humans you were talking down to most of the time?
Bro, I'm gonna show you panels that it wasn't 4 humans. You fuck.
You and I both know that all of Stigma lost all their dudes because of a band of humans. And guess what? They didn't even have any magic either. That's the best part. They went straight hands. What happened to all that arc? What happened to all that disaster? What happened to all that creation, huh? What happened?
Bro, they didn't get fucking decimated, right? Stigma did not fucking get extinct. Stigma did not get extinct.
Did.
No. They lost. They lost.
Grimm, come on.
They were in the fairy forest. Why would, what? No! If the fairies were extinct while somebody came into the fairy forest to kill them, they wouldn't be any more fairies.
I'm talking about Stigma. I'm not talking about the fairy clan. Obviously, the fairy clan didn't die. Not everyone in the fairy clan joined Stigma.
But they were in the fairy forest to fight, weren't they? Were they not?
Yeah, and guess what? The fairies that were guess what? Everyone who's a member of Stigma, right? Everyone who's a member of Stigma in that area of the Fairy King's forest, right? All got wiped out. There wasn't a single person standing or flying, for that matter.
Gerard was fucking that shit up, bro.
Gerard almost got bodied. She's lucky that Ro had a thing for lollies, low key.
It's like I like them short.
Yeah, and I do too.
Super short. He cut her legs off short, bro.
And her wings and her vision, But you know what? Ro's still out here. He's like, you know what? I don't care. She's like missing a couple pieces, but good enough. Pussy's pussy, I guess.
There are times in the story where you could only take one choice, bro. Like what happened there. If I was Gloxinia, there is no way I'm choosing anything else but what happened. No, nothing else, bro. If anything, I wouldn't use Chastity Four to kill that nigga, bro. Like. That was crazy.
From there, I mean, and I mean, again, we're going off topic because of it, but and at that point, because of how angry it was, obviously, and here's the thing: one, fairies aren't really that physically strong to begin with. I don't know how powerful Gloxinia was physically, obviously, but I can only imagine the first thing he would think of when he sees his sister kind of dismembered and partially blind is to eviscerate the person who caused the problem in the first place. And obviously, he wasn't going to ask any questions, so what happened.
This story, man. I will forever say this is probably one of the most tragic story I read. I thought in other stories that there were some tragic things that go on, some crazy shit in One Piece, but this is too much. Every nigga has something crazy happen to them. Literally every nigga. Gil Thunder. He got what? Oh my god! I can't even start with these are pussy niggas. I have crazy ass stories, bro. Dreyfus, Hendricks.
How is Gil Thunder a pussy ass nigga? How?
Excuse me. I meant as in weak individuals want relevance to the plot at the moment. That's what I'm referring to as pussy. They're so pussy that they ain't strong enough to be relevant to the plot.
Okay, sure. Okay,
but
I do understand.
I think that's at the author's discretion.
Hey, bro. I didn't say the author didn't make pussy niggas. I'm just identifying who they are.
They could write about all the characters they want, but there's parts of the story you want to progress at that moment, and other parts that you'll get to eventually.
No doubt. And he did an amazing job with all of them. So let's move on to the predictive stage. King has had a power reveal. He's healing Diane. Maya has just been saved. He's doing his own healing. And it seems Stigma has held out to defeat the threat that was the Four Commandments, intertwined with an Archangel. So now we seem to hold Four Commandments. I don't know if they're in a controlled state, if they're orbs outside of Mayo, or what's going to happen with them. But as the ending of the chapter states, the next pending situation is to save Meliodas. It literally reads, Gauther rescues Maya successfully. Everything's left to retrieve the commandments to save Meliodas. Maya, the Four Archangels, is released from the power of the commandments. Only a single step remains to end the holy war. So, what's next?
I still think Mal's going to die. Because of what he's done in the past, and if the Supreme Deity has anything to say about it, she's not going to let him live any longer.
Well, Merlin and Rudiso are off in some place. Meliodas and Bonner are supposed to be coming to are supposed to be confronting Demon King or trying to leave Purgatory. Meliodas is currently in a cocoon as far as we know, but it should be resolved by now if Maya's issue is resolved. The rest of the forces of Stigma are, I guess, going back to Leonis, I believe, was the last time we saw that, 2 chapters ago, when Gilia and Hauser were talking. Like I said, what's next, man? Which storyline's coming up next? What are we gonna do?
I think Meliodas, like him observing the commandments. I really don't know. I'm super okay with anything as long as we just cut away from this bullshit. I'm so over.
Well, you might get your wish by next
Not that
week.
it's actually like bullshit. I'm just like, this is like, I'm tired. Like, I'm good. Like, let's
I'm
wait
good.
for a while.
No doubt.
Please, somebody help me.
I do agree with you. For some odd, strange reason, we've been getting a lot of mail, and again, I don't like mail in the first place. I don't like getting it in my I don't like it in my chapters. I don't like it in my mailbox. So we can kind of
you aren't gonna eat it with a fox, huh?
I don't like. Don't get me. And again, cool character and everything, but like I think we've had enough of mail for one day, or for one arc, low-key. If we can like move on to like the rest of the Holy Works, I would love to see like some battles between like some of the Holy Knights and the demons, because it's kind of what I was like investing my time in.
Yeah, you expected a war, not a short or miniature battle.
So I can't find the legitimate source, but I went on the wiki and apparently it's in the trivia. I think what? If anything, Grimm, I think it might have been one of those. What was it? One
Side
of those.
questions?
Side questions. It might have been that, and someone just like put that up as an answer, but didn't source it. But yes, Gother. I'll read it to you. Yeah, I'll read it verbatim right now. So. There's no thing. So it says, originally Gother created the doll to look like his lover, but he changed it to look like a boy so he wouldn't have sexual desire for his creation. That was the reason why. Even though they look very similar. I mean, I would say, because you can't say that he doesn't you can't say that there's no way he does not look like that chick at all.
No, he looks exactly like it, bro. Like I said. Me and Naya didn't know who the fuck you were talking about. And we obviously thought that person looked exactly like Gauther. So, he looks like Gauther. It's just...
She does look a bit more, I don't know, like... Maybe it's because of the glasses. Because
the titties. Always like... It's only the titties, bro. I swear to God,
titties too, yeah.
No, I'm saying, bro, when I looked, I was like, nigga, Gauther was back then, too? Or some shit? Like, I didn't know
that's
what
I thought, too, but that's not breast. I'm like, wait a minute, huh?
The boobs confuse.
Yeah, they do. But you know what? They also help out a lot when it comes to figuring out who's who.
Well, modern anime and manga will tell you that boobs don't always tell you everything. Because good lord.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Remember the Haku debacle from Naruto? Everyone thought that he was a girl.
Yeah. I remember. I remember. People thought that Dellinger was a girl in One Piece, but like, I was like, I don't see tits on that chick at all. Like, if she were like 17 up, she has to have tits, or she's not from One Piece, or she's not from One Piece.
Especially post time skip.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah, like like that's what I think. It's like what these Japanese fans must not be like really like look at the panels, but like almost every single female, right? Almost every single female you see in One Piece has some kind of rag, and Dellinger is as flat as a board.
Dillinger's a guy.
He's a half. What is it? A fighting fisherman?
Why would Dillinger have boobs in Star Soul?
No,
it's because people thought it was a woman.
Yeah, because the high heels and everything and how.
Oh my bad.
Yeah. But I mean, just comparing that to fucking Gother now and everything. But again, yeah, that's just it. Really, yeah, that's it. If I can fucking find the goddamn.
Well, that'll be it for today, guys. Stay tuned for the next prediction stream that we do. We should be able to get one in before the chapter comes out. We've been busy this week with One Punch Man. I know most of you guys actually read One Punch Man, and most of you viewers actually read One Punch Man too. The One Punch Man podcast just dropped, so check that out. We had a really, really good conversation there, which the guys came through. Stay tuned for a review. I know I've been dropping a review in like 3 weeks. I've been busy as hell. Things have been changed up for me at home. But I should be able to get one in for this chapter. This was amazing. Unfortunately, though, we do have a break for One Punch Man. It doesn't come out for like another 3 weeks. And Taizai isn't on break, but after the review, I won't be putting out another video for about 3 or 4 days. I want to do a video essay about Maya. This is a great storyline, a great conclusion, so I want to get that done. I'll probably start doing work on that. You probably won't see it for a week or two because it's a lot of editing, but this is some really, really, really good content. Taizai has gotten to a very pivotal climax, and we're at an impasse. Whatever happens next is going to be terrific. It seems that for sure we're going to get the assistance of Maya. This last picture in the last panel was iconic. The Archangel helping us instead of trying to kill us. And as significant as that is, this is the person who, since he was a child, has aspired to killing demons and only killing demons. Seen it as the most righteous thing, empowered by it. He saw it as his duty, and now he's helping one. So let's see how that develops into. Meliodas is powering up. The motherfucking King Meliodas, bro. The realest nigga in this fucking series, bro. Our nigga. Who we haven't seen in a fucking lifetime, bro. This is crazy, bro. It's been like 2-3 months since we've seen Meliodas for real. Besides in flashbacks and shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, didn't you like fucking see his face like this chapter? What am I to say?
Real time, nigga, bro. I want to see fucking like demonic like. This nigga probably gonna come out ugly, bro. He's so sad and strong.
Probably.
You want to see demon prints?
Shit, like, I also want to see fucking Zeldris versus Rudicel.
Oh, fun fact, real quick. The Coffin of Eternal Darkness was actually created by a giant.
Yeah, the key. Didn't the races work together to make the whole thing?
Yes, but like the thing is, before any more details were actually added in, what you expected was like, oh, the Goddess Clan was kind of the one that did most of like the heavy lifting when it came to sealing away the Demon Clan. But you find out that the guy who had that someone else who had also helped in forging the seal, or at least the key, was a giant. So thought the fans.
I think we've covered that in the past.
Did we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well,
because we also brought up that the broken sword or the dragon handle sword Meliodas used was the key.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. No. Yeah. No. Okay. Not trying to remember. Yep. Okay. Yes, we did.
It's been a while back.
Okay. But but if anything, just wanted to add in some more trivia since we're at it. Since I fucking added in the whole fact that Gother was actually that this whole thing was I guess foreshadowed before. I need to find the source. I'll find the source, and by next stream, I'll get the source for it. For Gother's little thingamajiggy. I will. Don't tell me I won't, because you know I will. You know I'm out here, and I have enough time to do it.
And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right now. We're about to end the stream. All right. In the beginning, Narubasa told us Rudisell is the strongest archangel.
Oh man.
Immediately after that, Gato changed the memories of everybody. Now Rudisell believes that fucking Mayo is the strongest. Mayo believes he's the strongest, and so does everybody else. Comes back to it, everybody gets their memory back, and the strongest nigga that niggas are talking about saying, "Oh, here was two of the niggas as strong as me." The one that Grimm was saying must have influenced Meliodas some fucking way.
Oh my god.
The one that Grimm... Hold on. I'm not done, guys. So one of them happens to be the person that Grimm said, "Oh, that bitch must have influenced Meliodas for him to fall in love. That shit can't be right." Turns out she's just as strong as him. So we'll find out what other information we get from her. And then the other part is the motherfucker who Grimm said is stronger than every other archangel. Why? Because Narubasa said it. And who challenged me? It wasn't random. It wasn't random Taizai community niggas, because I only talked to 3 niggas. It was these pussy ass niggas.
I challenge you, and you want to know why? Because guess what? It is true. Because just like how Escanor is stronger than Meliodas, even though Meliodas is the captain of his squad and seen as the strongest of his own squad, right? So is Ludisha. Strongest in his own squad because he's the leader, right? Even though there's someone in his group stronger than him.
Could you
so cut the shit, Grimm.
Could you point out what time of the day Maya was stronger than Rudisell?
The first 12 hours.
The first 12 hours? Could you tell me what panel shows that?
The panel when this dude comes back and starts talking to the dude who has his brother's blessing.
While he has his memory changed, right? Facts, nigga!
Why
didn't his brother tell him that he would be extremely strong or the strongest, something like that in the flashback?
He told him you can grow to be very strong. No, he never said that. Nigga, we have the...
He did.
Why would they give him the title of Angel of Death?
The Angel of Death? Because he's strong as hell.
I was strongest archangel. I was seen as an angel of death. He was the strongest archangel. Yes, Ludisho could beat him at different points in time, just like how Meliodas can beat Escanor at different points in time. But guess what? Ludisho can only beat him like what? Maybe the 12 hours he's not using his commandment. I mean, his blessing, or if anything, right? This is Male, the guy who literally looks up to his brother, who would obviously put himself down in comparison to his brother, because that's the personality that he has. Even Sariel said that he has no spine, no backbone. That hasn't changed.
Look, all I really wanted to point out was that I don't believe that Mayo changes form, but we did agree before the stream, guys, that he most likely changes power levels. So we'll be seeing.
I don't think his form changes, but he definitely might get a little weaker in the night.
So we'll see if what Rudisell said currently during the reunion of Stigma, if that was actually true when he spoke to Escanor. But that was really about it. The next part that I know I've claimed unanimously and spread out throughout the heavens is that I believe Elizabeth did something to Meliodas. So that's the next reveal that I'm waiting for.
Oh, brother.
Yep.
I mean, do we all kind of agree with that, Grimm? You can't just be like taking this thing and be like, "Oh yeah,
this guy stinks."
Y'all niggas out here telling me no, bro. She loves him. He loves her. Nah, bro. This bitch came up, put some fucking juju on this nigga's shoulder. He turned around too fast, sniffed that shit.
Grimm.
His dick got hard. She topped him off. He liked that shit. He came back for seconds, and then she fucking tricked him into a fucking conversation for 7 hours, and now he's fucking in love with her. What the fuck happened to some shit?
Okay, Grimm. I'm gonna tell you this right now, right? In July and in August, I remember having this conversation with you multiple times when we didn't know what was going on with Male and his little crazy ass. I've told you a million times, right, that she might not have done it on purpose or for any malicious acts, but I've already said this, that Elizabeth somehow, some way might have affected Meliodas, because
we know that we agreed upon that. What I'm drawing the line at is that she purposely did something. Before we were speaking as if it was either a passive action or a deliberate action. Passive being like some effect of her being an angel brings empathy to the people around her. And that's a very, very likely thing because we've seen instances of that several times in Taizai. So that's something that's very, very likely. What I'm saying...
Like a subtle version of brainwashing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we agreed upon. That's most likely what occurred.
I will vehemently disagree with you on this, so we can butt heads when I'm right. I will say this honestly. I will comment everything. The man is just in love. Ain't no brainwash. She ain't the villain, the story, whatever the fuck you think.
I'm not saying I ain't saying that she's the villain either.
That'd be fucked up. If Elizabeth was the villain, that'd be crazy.
If that ever happened, I'm not coming to that stream.
There's a plot twist that's worth waiting for. It's like, I was coming to look for the 7 deadly sins in the beginning to I am true sin.
Yeah.
Oh shit, bro. When I expose y'all niggas like 16 months from now, say that to me.
He's lying.
You're not exposing anyone, Grimm. If anything, I'm exposing you on your sussy shit, alright?
You got it, bro. You got it. Alright, guys. Like, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time, man. Yo!